Over the past 5 years, the Australian Defence Force has been contemplating joining the B-21 program. After the public reveal of the radar, our interest in the project garnered international attention. While many politicians and critics oppose such an expensive purchase, others, ranging from military analysts to RAAF personnel writing for outlets like The Runway, highlighted how beneficial such a platform could be.
The Australian 2024 National Defence Strategy outlines 6 key priorities: nuclear-powered submarines, long-range missiles, upgraded northern bases, better trained soldiers, increased technological innovation, and stronger Indo-Pacific ties. The strategy also stresses integration across the Army, Navy, Air Force, space, and cyber domains. Although the Defence Strategic Review rejected the radar in 2023 in favour of these priorities, debates persist about the most effective way to project air power in our region. The 2026 National Defence Strategy continues to sharpen a strategy of denial, with greater emphasis on self-reliance, autonomous systems, and extending the range at which Australia can hold adversaries at risk. In the past, this role was famously carried out by the F-111. Currently, a mix of naval and air capabilities tries to achieve that mission, but some analysts suggest that the B-21 could directly replace the long-range strike role the F-111 once provided. However, the current defence strategy does not address the B-21 at all. Extending the range of deterrence lies in standoff strike systems, uncrewed systems, and existing aircraft, rather than fielding sovereign deep strike bombers.
Nevertheless, outside government policy, the B-21 is still actively discussed. Australia's unique geopolitical and geographic position means that a platform like the B-21 could demonstrate a credible ability to hold potential adversaries at risk and at a considerable distance. This is still a topic worth discussing in terms of projecting air power for small nations like Australia. Also, we'd just like to let you know that we've set up an Instagram page. We'll be uploading videos and photos there. It's just another way to connect with us, so follow us there. The handle is peacemaker.aviation, and there'll be a link in the description.
Between 2019 and 2021, think tanks like ASPI published several articles analysing the potential integration of Northrop Grumman's radar into the Australian Defence Force. The possibility of Australia acquiring the B-21 entered public debate in 2022 when Defence Minister Richard Marles said the concept had been examined. Around the same time, US Air Force Secretary Frank Kendall stated that if Australia formally approached the United States, the possibility of a sale could be reviewed, although no export policy existed at that point. Following the aircraft's public reveal in December 2022, the prospect of Australia joining the program became a significant defence news story. After extensive debate, the 2023 Defence Strategic Review rejected the B-21 option. Instead, the government prioritised strengthening northern bases, developing integrated missile capabilities, and acquiring new long-range weapons for existing aircraft. For power projection and area denial, priority shifted toward the AUKUS submarine program. Budget considerations likely influenced the decision. Each aircraft is expected to cost hundreds of millions of dollars, making even a modest fleet a substantial investment. With that decision, Australia effectively moved on from the radar program. But the question remains, how could such an aircraft have enhanced the RAAF, and would the expense have been justified? To understand the debate, it is worth looking into the capabilities of the RAAF as it currently stands. Although working with a relatively modest budget compared to larger powers, the RAAF has adopted a procurement strategy focused on highly capable multi-role platforms integrated into a single force structure. Australia remains the only country outside of the United States to operate the EA-18G Growler, giving our Defence Force a dedicated electronic warfare capability at a scale seldom seen outside the major powers. Australia has also led the way in collaborative combat aircraft. The Boeing MQ-28A Ghost Bat program has already demonstrated air-to-air missile capability and is progressing through further development stages, offering a potential source of affordable combat mass that can operate alongside crewed aircraft under the command of E-7A Wedgetails. The F-35 and E-7A represent some of the most advanced capabilities in Australia's inventory. The F-35 provides stealth multi-role combat ability, while the Wedgetail remains one of the world's leading airborne early warning and battle management platforms. The Super Hornet fleet continues to offer a versatile strike and air combat platform capable of conducting air-to-air, strike, SEAD, and maritime operations. Other key assets include the P-8 Poseidon and MQ-4C Triton, which provide long-range maritime surveillance across Australia's vast approaches. This force structure emphasizes flexibility. Aircraft such as the F-35, Super Hornet, and Ghostbat can undertake various roles within an integrated system supported by tankers, surveillance aircraft, and electronic warfare platforms.
This approach reflects Australia's defence budget realities. In many cases, multi-role platforms offer more value than specialised aircraft. However, there are exceptions. The Growler fills a niche electronic warfare role that other aircraft can't match. There might also be another gap in the force structure, one that was previously filled by the F-111.
Since its launch in the 1960s, the F-111 played a distinctive role in Australian defence strategy. It combined high speed, long range, and a large payload capacity in a relatively compact strike aircraft. Entering Australian service in 1973, it became one of the most iconic aircraft ever operated by the RAAF. By the time of its retirement in 2010, it was clearly aging, but it had provided decades of long-range strike capability that no later platform fully replaced. Although the aircraft lacked stealth, it had impressive performance for its time. With a theoretical maximum speed around Mach 2.2 to 2.5 and a stores capacity of about 31,500 pounds, it could carry large payloads over significant distances. Its combat radius of approximately 1,160 nautical miles enabled strikes well beyond Australia's immediate region. Australia's geography underscores the importance of this type of range. The country's northern approaches span great distances, and many potential operating zones are thousands of kilometres from main southern bases. While northern facilities are being upgraded, they remain fairly exposed to long-range missile attacks. Aircraft that can launch from bases further south and still reach contested areas offer valuable strategic depth. Likewise, aircraft with long range can also be used to expand the area of denial northward, keeping northern bases safer from surface-launched weapons. For decades, the F-111 filled a role similar to this, albeit within the context of its time. Today, the strategic environment has evolved. Advanced air defense systems make stealth increasingly essential for penetrating defended airspace. However, the geographic reality remains unchanged. Large distances still need to be crossed before any strike mission can commence. In this sense, the F-111 never truly had a modern replacement option for its specific long-range strike role. To block hostile forces approaching Australia's northern approaches, three main options are available. The first involves long-range surface-launched missiles that can strike at sea-based threats. The second relies on power projection from naval assets, which have traditionally included aircraft carriers and in the future submarines. The third involves direct strikes from air platforms. Long-range missiles will certainly be a key part of Australia's future strategy, but they also raise concerns about magazine capacity. Missiles are single-use weapons, while aircraft are reusable platforms that can launch multiple weapons in repeated sorties. A stealth bomber carrying many standoff weapons could thus maintain strike operations in a way that solely missile-based deterrence cannot. Australia's future strategy will likely depend heavily on submarines as part of a layered denial approach. From a tactical perspective, this may be effective, but from a geopolitical view, knowing a military has access to a long-range stealth bomber carries a strong signal. The B-2 has long symbolized America's ability to directly project power without detection. To even possess such a platform sends a powerful message abroad, and the B-21 is well recognized as being an extension of such deterrence.
Today, projecting air power deep into Australia's northern approaches would require tanker support to extend the range of aircraft like the F-35. However, tankers are large, slow, and highly visible targets. In a high-end conflict, they would likely be pushed well away from contested airspace, greatly reducing the fighter combat radius. A long-range stealth bomber such as the B-21 changes this by allowing deep strike missions without the need for persistent tanker support near contested areas.
In the coming decades, Australia might encounter growing strategic pressure in the Indo-Pacific. History has consistently shown that control of Australia holds great strategic importance in the Pacific. Today, the region once again finds itself between two major global powers, boosting the strategic significance of the continent. Australia's critical minerals and natural resources further enhance its significance to both allies and rivals. Whether through diplomatic pressure, economic rivalry, or military coercion, the ability to influence Australia will remain strategically important. How should Australia respond? One answer is to leverage its strengths, maintaining strong alliances, protecting critical industries, and prioritising the denial of hostile forces approaching its shores. During the Cold War, this denial strategy relied partly on the F-111 and Australia's carrier capabilities. These platforms serve not only as operational tools, but also as strong political signals of national strength. There is also an alliance aspect worth considering. If the B-21 becomes the core of American long-range strike power in the Indo-Pacific, Allied forces capable of operating compatible platforms could play a larger role in coalition efforts. Even a small Australian fleet could complicate an adversary's planning and spread strike capability across multiple Allied bases. A final consideration relates to extended deterrence. Although Australia does not have nuclear weapons, the credibility of Allied deterrence partly relies on the ability of partners to host, support, and integrate advanced strike capabilities. Long-range stealth bombers are a key part of this, often hosted at our northern bases, yet to own some ourselves has long been near impossible. In the B-21, a realistic option exists, albeit a very costly one. Just as the F-111, with no other export customers, became a critical asset due to the unique gaps it filled, today we face similar challenges that require unique solutions. Perhaps the B-21 could be the answer, if the price can be justified.
The B-21 may be the closest modern equivalent to the role once filled by the F-111. It would require a significant investment, but its extremely low radar cross-section and long range could offer capabilities difficult for potential adversaries to counter. Ultimately, this remains a thought experiment. Would such an aircraft strengthen Australia's strategic position, or are current capabilities enough? The debate goes on. Let us know what you think in the comments.
Thanks for watching. Our videos are researched, written and produced by a small team of filmmakers dedicated to bringing you accurate military aviation history from around the world. Please consider supporting us by joining our merch and members site for early access, bonus content and merch discounts. Or become a YouTube channel member for early access, or simply hit subscribe. Your support means everything.